You keep waiting for clarity, as if it's supposed to arrive first, as if it owes you certainty before you move. It doesn't work that way. Clarity is not a starting point. It never has been. It's a consequence. You tell yourself you're being careful, that you don't want to make the wrong move, that once things make sense, you'll act. That's not wisdom. That's avoidance dressed up as responsibility. You want guarantees. You want to feel ready. You want to feel calm before you choose. That calm never comes, because clarity does not appear in stillness. It appears in motion. Right now, you're standing still, calling it thinking. You replay scenarios. You analyze outcomes. You imagine futures that never arrive. Your mind stays busy. Your life stays the same. That's not progress. That's containment. You already know this. If clarity truly came before action, you would have had it by now. You've thought long enough. Longer than most people would admit. At some point, thinking stops being preparation and starts being protection. Protection from discomfort. Protection from regret. Protection from responsibility. You want the feeling of certainty without paying the price that certainty demands. That price is movement. Every meaningful decision requires you to step forward without full visibility. You don't see the whole path. You never do. You see the first step. That's all. And even that feels heavy. So you delay. You wait for a sign. You wait for confidence. But confidence is not a requirement. It's a result. You don't become confident and then act. You act. And confidence forms afterward. The same is true for clarity. You are not unclear because you lack insight. You are unclear because you refuse to test the truth. Truth doesn't reveal itself in theory. It reveals itself through consequence. Until something costs you something, it stays abstract. That's why everything feels foggy. You're trying to solve life without touching it. You want answers without exposure. You want understanding without risk. That's not how reality works. Clarity comes from feedback, from friction, from seeing what happens when you move. Right now, nothing is happening. So nothing becomes clear. You say you're stuck, but you're not stuck. You're stationary by choice. Because movement would force you to give up certain illusions. The illusion that you're almost ready. The illusion that you just need a bit more time. The illusion that there is a perfect moment coming. There isn't. There is only now, and now is imperfect. Waiting for perfect conditions is how you avoid imperfect responsibility. If you act, you might fail. If you act, you might confirm your doubts. If you act, you might lose something familiar. Staying still feels safer. But safety has a cost. It slowly erodes your self-trust. Every time you don't act on what you already know, you teach yourself that your instincts are not worth listening to. Over time, that creates confusion. Not the kind you admit, the quiet kind. The kind where you stop recognizing your own voice. You then mistake that loss of self-trust for lack of clarity. But it's not that you don't know. It's that you no longer believe yourself. And belief is rebuilt through action. Small action. Imperfect action. Uncertain action. You don't need a dramatic leap. You need movement. Any movement. Because once you move, reality responds. And reality is honest. It tells you what works. It tells you what doesn't. It tells you what drains you and what sharpens you. Thinking alone can't do that. Your mind is not neutral. It will always try to protect you from discomfort. So it keeps you planning, keeps you imagining, keeps you preparing, all without risk. But preparation without execution eventually becomes fear. You feel it as restlessness, as irritation, as low-level frustration with yourself. That's the signal you keep ignoring. You say you don't want to rush, but you've been waiting so long that waiting has become your identity. You are no longer someone who is choosing. You are someone who is postponing. That does something to you. It makes your life feel unreal, like it hasn't started yet. And part of you is still convinced that once clarity arrives, everything will suddenly make sense. It won't. What actually happens is quieter. You take a step. It feels uncomfortable, messy, uncertain, and then something shifts. Not relief, not certainty, orientation. You begin to see what aligns and what doesn't. You see which doubts were real and which were imagined. You see what matters because now something is at stake. That's clarity, not a feeling, a direction. You don't get direction by standing still. You get it by walking and noticing where your energy goes. You already know what the next step is, not the full plan, not the final outcome, just the next step. The one you keep avoiding, the one that feels too soon, too risky, too exposing. That's the one that would clarify things. You're not waiting because you're wise. You're waiting because you're afraid of what movement would reveal about you, about what you want, about what you've tolerated, about how long you've been delaying. Clarity threatens the story that you're just not there yet, because once you act, that story ends. Then you see yourself clearly, and clarity is not always kind. Sometimes it shows you that you stayed too long, that you knew better, that you avoided discomfort at your own expense. That realization hurts, so you avoid the action that would bring it into focus. But avoidance doesn't erase truth. It only postpones the moment you face it. And the longer you wait, the heavier that moment becomes. Clarity is not something you earn by thinking hard enough. It's something you uncover by moving forward without permission. You don't need certainty. You need courage to tolerate uncertainty. That's the difference, and you already know which step would force you to do that. You just haven't taken it yet.